I didn't have any milk in the hospital. Can I start breastfeeding now?
Okay, so let's talk about the no milk in the hospital.
Yeah.
You have milk, you have colostrum. It's just thick and sticky.
It just
and it's
drops of it.
Just
It
drops.
just
It's
drops.
harder to get out, so sometimes it doesn't look like there's a lot of milk. There's a few things that have to happen to bring in a copious milk supply. The placenta coming out is actually the trigger to the brain of like, oh, we've got to start our milk production. You want to have your baby skin to skin right away.
Right away within that first hour,
In the
ideally.
first hour, and then the baby will have its first feeding. What we know from research is that there's a critical window for building a milk supply, and it's getting tighter. We used to think it was like a 2-week period of time. Now actually the critical window is about 5 days.
5 days.
So during that time, you can kind of mess it up, as I say. Like you could maybe do some supplementing and then you kind of go back to just direct breastfeeding. But if you stay with frequency of either pumping or direct breastfeeding, you will actually end up creating a milk supply for even like 3, 6, 9 months from now. So
think of it like programming your breast.
Yeah.
Like you're creating that program when you pump, when you breastfeed, when you do those frequent feeds. You're telling your breast, you're programming it to create that supply. It's not about volume during this time, it's about frequency of feeds, because that sticky stuff, those drops, are like ultra concentrated. It is exactly what your baby needs.
Yeah, lots of protein, lots of sugar.
If you start supplementing, you're kind of breaking up that program.
And sometimes people will say, oh, mom's tired, so we're just gonna let her rest, but we really can't do that. The breast is this like own organ. It needs the stimulation in order to make milk, so you really wanna focus like a lot of time and attention on making those first 5 days work, and that's what's gonna end up the long-term breastfeeding success.
Yes.